Hi guys! Today we make some small notepads. I like to use them both inside journal pockets, and sometimes I also glue them onto the page. And that's a perfect chance to use away some scraps, because here is huge box of my coffee dyed scraps. I use a lot of coffee dyed paper on my journal pages, so these are quite nice to use. I take usually a stack of these, and this is the size one notepad will be. So we use these. Then I have another full box of everything else. So here's all kind of scraps. So we use some of these. Then I have a third box. A lot of scraps. I have a third box. I have my fabric scraps in another place, but here's ribbons. So we use some of these too. These are too short ribbons to be stored otherwise. There's few longer pieces also, but a few lace trims, although I have my own place for lace too. So we are gonna use this one. But first we start by taking some coffee dyed scraps. And if you don't like coffee dyed, you can use white paper, color paper, anything you want. I have about 6-7 layers here. And I like quite rustic look, so usually I measure my journal page, but now it's not so important. So I take half of these. I like to rip them or tear. So I have 2 stacks, which I'm gonna of course distress. When you have even edges, I can distress all the edges at once. Sometimes if I want to make it really junk journaly, I add some extra papers. This is a little bit. If it's different width, it doesn't really matter. So I put these in between. Maybe some piece of tissue paper. I'm not sure how white tissue paper will look with the ink. And I want it to be on the top. It doesn't matter if they are not completely straight, but what I want to make sure that all the papers or pieces are coming all the way up, so that they will all be attached. Okay. So then I want to make the backing for for these pages. They're a little bit sturdier. I don't always do that, especially if I glue this directly on the journal page. I think we do it now. I don't especially like white, so if this would be clean white, I would cover it up with other paper or copyright it. But this is a little bit creamy, so I think it works fine. So I'm gonna cut a piece just tiny bit wider than the pages. I just mark it with my nail and try to get a straight line. This is some scrapbook paper. I'm awful to cut straight line. Then I can try if it fits on this other one too. If I wouldn't use my fabric scraps, I would make a longer piece, and I would fold a little bit on this side so that the papers will be locked inside like this. And then I would use a staple, or I would make few stitches and tie a bow here in the middle. But now I'm gonna use some ribbons, so I just do like this. So I have really bad blender. I should change it actually. If I want only the edge, I keep it in 90 degrees angle, so I don't get any color onto the front. If I want to create this rustic look, then I keep it like in 45-degree angle. I start by taking the most off here in the edge, and then I move on to the top. This is a little bit more trickier the lighter the background or the surface is, but you can do it on the white too. Start here and then move on to the, and I might take even more than 45 degrees. I might be almost completely flat on top of it. But as I said, brand new blender doesn't, it's at least it's not so easy with it. It makes really sharp edge, so I can't have these loose fibers help creating uneven color. I hope that makes some sense. But sometimes it doesn't work out. The more darker your page is, the more you can take risks, because it kind of blends in more easily if you have colored paper. like here. So then I would just try to hide it a little bit, but then I almost would have to do it here also. Okay. So what I do, I place the backing paper behind, under other papers. The book page is a little bit wider. And I want to see that all the pages are coming all the way up. I take one of these, but I'm also gonna sew, so then I just have to be careful I don't sew on top of it and break my needle. Doesn't matter if it's not in the middle, because we're gonna cover it. Then we need some ribbon. I like to use sari silk and some lace. And some cheesecloth, coffee dyed. So the other one has tissue paper on top. The other one gets coffee dyed cheesecloth. Here we could, because this is gonna be super rustic. If I would like to have some burlap between. So I'm digging out my scrap stash. And these short pieces are just perfect. It's too short for tags. So I either use these to make embellishments or I use it on these. But I'd be interested adding some thin lace there. The other one I'll add, and here's also this seam place. I rip it off. So it doesn't need to be white sari silk, but I want to fold it from the middle. So what I'll do, I add a little bit glue on the front and on the back. Then I glue the back side onto the sari, and then I fold the other half on top. The more imperfect it is, the better. So it doesn't need to be straight. Then sometimes I just stitch straight here, but now I think we add just piece of lace trim, and because we are rustic today too, we distress the lace a little bit. Okay, Here I don't add the glue in the back. I would only sew here, but because of this burlap, which is really loose, or there's a lot of space between the fibers, so this loosens up really easily. So there's not so much left from it, so I want to add glue so that I attach these fibers and it doesn't start to pull out later on. So I think I just add it straight to this burlap. So I try to hit those edges so that I know that the last fibers will stay attached. If this wouldn't be the issue, I would just sew and not glue these. Okay, I let this dry just a few minutes and then I sew. I just simply make a straight stitch here through the burlap and lace. Same here. I try to remember to pay attention where the staple is. But other than that, I just sew in the middle. Okay, nice and easy. So the backing paper will keep it a little bit sturdier. And if I would glue this on a journal page, I would glue it only from this fabric, so that you could write on the pages here, and then you could lift it up and write onto the journal page. Okay, some simple ways how to use scraps, both fabric and paper. I hope you enjoyed and see you next time. Bye.